If you want to explore things beyond everyday life, from the cutest puppies to the greatest riches, stick around. The paradise tanager is one of the most beautiful birds in the world. It's a small songbird. Its feathers shine in many bright colors. Bananas are technically berries. They grow on large herbaceous plants, not trees. The clusters are called hands, and each hand usually contains 10 to 20 individual bananas, known as fingers. A mini mountain lion. Imagine a cat that looks like a wild cougar, but fits in your arms. That is the Abyssinian. Its short coat has a beautiful ticked pattern. It makes the fur shimmer when the cat moves. Kea are the world's only alpine parrots. They live above the tree line in New Zealand's South Island. Highly intelligent and curious, these playful birds explore everything, solve puzzles, and interact boldly with humans. Meet the aardvark. Its name means earth pig, but it doesn't look like any pig you've seen at a farm. Imagine an animal made of spare parts. It has the ears of a rabbit, the snout of a pig, the tail of a kangaroo. Apples float on water because about 25% of their volume is air, trapped in tiny pockets within the flesh. This lowers their density below that of water, and over 7,500 apple varieties exist worldwide. It's amazing how big bird eyes really are compared to ours. In humans, our eyes make up just around 2% of the skull's volume. But in birds, particularly hunters like hawks and owls, those eyes dominate the head, sometimes taking up over half the skull space in raptors. Mauna Kea in Hawaii is the world's tallest mountain, from its ocean floor base to summit, reaching over 33,500 feet. This full height surpasses Mount Everest, changing how we define the tallest peak. Alex Hormozi broke the Guinness World Record for the fastest-selling nonfiction book. He sold about 2.9 million copies of $100 million money models in one day. It's seen as one of the boldest marketing moves ever. The aardwolf is one of nature's strangest secrets. While the world sleeps, the aardwolf wanders the dry plains of Africa. It is a quiet creature that prefers to be alone. Its favorite food? Termites. Bamboo forests in China provide homes for giant pandas. Their diet is almost all bamboo, low in nutrients. So they eat a lot, from 26 to 84 pounds daily. They spend 12 hours eating daily to meet their energy needs. Orchids form one of the largest plant families, with over 28,000 known species worldwide. Many use clever mimicry, shaping and scenting flowers like female insects to trick males into pollination. The Persian ironwood is a tree that acts like a living piece of art. It doesn't just grow, it changes costumes throughout the year. One single tree can have leaves of gold, orange, pink, and deep wine red all at the same time. Smaller animals with faster metabolisms perceive more visual information per second. They experience the world in slow motion compared to larger creatures. This higher temporal resolution allows birds and insects to dodge threats swiftly, like seeing events unfold slower. Siberian huskies were bred by the Chukchi people for pulling sleds over vast snowy distances. They have incredible endurance. Their thick double coat insulates against extreme cold. Coconuts are drupes, like peaches or cherries, but not true berries. Coconuts grow in tropical regions. They provide water for hydration, meat, milk, and oil for nutrition. Many monkey species live in troops ranging from a few individuals to over 800 in mandrills. These social bonds strengthen group protection against predators. They improve foraging efficiency. Volcanic lightning happens in ash clouds during eruptions. It often occurs at places like Sakurajima in Japan. Collisions between ash particles create static charge. This leads to electrical discharges. Coast redwoods are the tallest living trees on Earth. The record holder, Hyperion, stands at 380.8 feet in California's Redwood National Park. These giants provide homes for many species. The idea that humans share 50% of their DNA with bananas is a common myth. It stems from misinterpreting gene similarities. In reality, about 60% of human genes have counterparts in bananas, like genes for copying DNA and dividing cells. The trap-jaw ant snaps its mandible shut at speeds up to 230 kilometers per hour. This takes just 0.13 milliseconds. It is one of the fastest animal movements known. It also propels the ant backward for escape, or ejects intruders from the nest. Unlike typical fruits that derive calories primarily from sugars and carbohydrates, avocados and coconuts stand out as high-fat fruits. Both are nutrient-dense and support energy from lipids rather than carbs. Tropical primary rainforests are home to more than half the world's species and store vast amounts of carbon. Yet in 2024, a record 6.7 million hectares were lost, about 31 acres per minute, mainly from fires in agriculture. This severely harms biodiversity and accelerates global climate change. Gibbons sing duets to defend their territories. They are small apes living in Southeast Asian forests. Their loud songs can carry up to 1 kilometer or more through dense Asian forests. The human eye can distinguish around 1 million colors, though some estimates reach up to 10 million. Most people have 3 types of cone cells sensitive to red, green, and blue light. The brain combines them to perceive a vast range of shades and hues. Urban trees provide natural cooling through shade and evapotranspiration, releasing water vapor that lowers air temperatures. This can reduce local air temperatures by 1 to 5 degrees Celsius on hot days. Strawberries have tiny seeds on the outside. These are actually achenes, each holding 1 true seed. Most strawberries have around 200 achenes, making them uniquely textured and flavorful. Greenland sharks live very long lives. Studies show they can live at least 272 years. The oldest ones may reach around 400 years or more. Their slow metabolism helps them achieve this extreme longevity. Some birds' hearts beat up to 1,260 times per minute during flight. This rapid rate delivers oxygen quickly. It supports their intense energy needs for hovering and fast maneuvers. Pando is a massive clonal colony of quaking aspen trees. It looks like a forest of many trees. This single organism covers 106 acres in Utah's Fish Lake National Forest. The Philippines has 7,641 islands. People long believed there were 7,107. In 2016, new mapping technology found more. The official count is now 7,641. Many new ones are small and uninhabited. Black sea bass live along the Atlantic coast. Most start as females. Many change to males when larger. They are popular for fishing and eating. Guavas have hundreds of cultivars around the world, with flesh ranging from white to deep pink. India leads global production, contributing about 45% of the total. Plane trees, genus Platanus, are tall deciduous trees. They reach 30 to 50 meters in height. Their bark peels in patches, showing creamy, green, or gray colors underneath. Plastic pollution kills over 1 million seabirds and about 100,000 marine mammals and turtles each year. Sea turtles often mistake plastic bags for jellyfish and eat them. Many animals get entangled in debris. Many birds migrate using Earth's magnetic field for navigation. They sense it through a protein in their eyes. This protein may let them see magnetic lines as overlays on their vision. Fairy circles in Namibia are mysterious circular patterns of bare soil surrounded by grass. Himba people believe they are footprints of gods or created by their ancestor Mukuru. Pygmy marmosets use high-pitched calls to communicate. They are the world's smallest monkeys, weighing just over 100 grams. They live in small family groups. These tiny monkeys spend their lives in the trees of the Amazon rainforest. There is enough gold in Earth's core to coat the entire surface of the planet. This gold sank there billions of years ago. It is far too deep to reach, nearly 3,000 kilometers deep. The Pororoca is a tidal bore on the Amazon River. It creates powerful waves. These waves attract adventurous surfers. They also draw scavengers like piranhas that feed on stunned animals. In 2025, the Antarctic ozone hole was the fifth smallest since 1992. The ozone layer is recovering thanks to the Montreal Protocol. This global treaty phased out nearly 99% of ozone-depleting substances. Dogs have an incredible sense of smell, often 10,000 to 100,000 times more sensitive than ours, thanks to up to 300 million olfactory receptors. They detect faint scents from miles away, even underground or in water. Yet they have just 1,700 taste buds, 1/6 of humans' 9,000. So food flavors matter less to them. Smell truly drives their world. The bee hummingbird, found only in Cuba, holds the title of world's smallest bird. Males reach just 5.5 centimeters and weigh under 2 grams, lighter than a dime. They lay 2 pea-sized eggs, the smallest of any bird. When pests like caterpillars attack a willow tree, it releases volatile organic compounds into the air. Nearby trees detect these chemical warnings and quickly produce defensive tannins and other bitter substances. This prepares them against the threat, even attracting predators to fight the pests. Nature's clever alarm system. Giraffes, the tallest land animals, act like natural lightning rods on open plains. Their height draws direct strikes more often. Four-legged stance also risks deadly ground currents from nearby bolts. Records show few deaths, but fatality rate is over 30 times higher than for humans in thunderstorm-prone areas. The Australian Retriever isn't a pure breed, but a hybrid from crossing an Australian Shepherd with a Golden Retriever. These energetic dogs are highly intelligent, affectionate, and great with families. The white-browed forest flycatcher often goes unnoticed in the dim understory of West and Central African rainforests. This little gem loves hanging out near big rivers and streams, lurking in the shadows. Drones aren't new. They go back to the 1800s with unmanned balloons used in war. The term drone came from the 1930s target practice aircraft called Queen Bee, originally built for dangerous military missions like surveillance and combat. Durian is widely known as the world's smelliest fruit, with an odor like rotten onions. It's banned on planes and trains in parts of Asia. Still, it's nutrient-dense, high in vitamin C, potassium, fiber, and healthy fats. Elon Musk could be the first trillionaire soon. In 2024, Informa Connect Academy said by 2027, based on 110% annual growth from Tesla. Now in 2026, his net worth tops $600 billion, fueled by SpaceX's $800 billion value and Tesla's strength. The sword-billed hummingbird has the longest beak relative to the body of any bird, often longer than the body itself. This allows it to reach nectar in deep Andean flowers. It balances by tilting its bill upward when perching and preens with its tiny feet. The Mississippi River starts at Lake Itasca in Minnesota and flows 2,340 miles to the Gulf of Mexico. A drop of water takes roughly 90 days to make this journey. You might think all oranges are bright orange, but that's not always true. The peel's color comes down to temperature. In tropical spots with steady heat, like Vietnam, ripe oranges keep their green skin because chlorophyll doesn't break down. But in places with cooler nights, that green fades, and the natural carotenoids shine through as orange. The fear of long words is humorously known as this. Yes, I'm not going to pronounce it. It's not an official medical term. Psychologists see it as part of social anxiety. But the name was made extra long on purpose. In November 2025, the U.S. launched the Genesis mission, a major national initiative led by the Department of Energy. It uses artificial intelligence to harness vast federal scientific data sets. Focus areas include energy dominance, new discoveries, and national security. Kia parrots show impressive brain power. They can wait up to 160 seconds for a better treat. This kind of self-control matches what we see in young kids. Cells divide mainly through mitosis or meiosis. Mitosis produces two identical cells for growth and repair. Meiosis creates 4 unique haploid cells for sexual reproduction, having chromosomes and boosting diversity via crossing over. The prototype of the modern chainsaw was invented in the late 1700s. They used it to help with difficult childbirths. The goal was to quickly cut through pelvic cartilage and bone. Ants lack lungs entirely. Like all insects, they breathe through spiracles, tiny openings along their sides. Oxygen enters these openings. It flows directly into branching tubes that reach every cell. T-Rex probably did not have a full coat of feathers. Skin impressions from its body show scales instead. Early relatives had feathers, but large adults like T-Rex likely lost most or all of them. The sun does produce sound-like vibrations inside it, but we can't hear them here on Earth. These are pressure waves from boiling plasma and convection. Space is a vacuum, so sound waves have nothing to travel through. Glowworm caves in New Zealand feature larvae creating bioluminescent mucus to attract prey in dark caverns. It's formed 30 million years ago. They host luminosa larvae, unique to this country. In Japan, cherry blossoms, known as sakura, stand for the joy of spring's renewal. They bloom briefly, for about 1 to 2 weeks each spring. People mark this with hanami, gathering to picnic and admire the falling petals under the trees. The Sahara Desert covers about 9.2 million square kilometers. It is the largest hot desert in the world. Its dust storms affect weather far beyond Africa. Animals there show amazing adaptations to survive the heat and dryness. Identical twins share the same DNA and often have very similar fingerprint patterns, like loops or whorls. But no two people, not even twins, have exactly the same fingerprints. Genes set the basic pattern, but small differences in position, pressure, and growth make them one of a kind. Emperor penguins huddle together to share body heat. They face the brutal Antarctic cold and winds. The group slowly rotates positions. This way, every penguin gets time in the warmer center. The Amazon River has the highest discharge on Earth, averaging over 215,000 cubic meters per second. This massive flow is greater than the next 7 largest rivers combined. It carries about 20% of all fresh water entering the world's oceans. Butterflies taste with their feet. They have special sensors there. These detect sweet nectar in flowers. If it's good, they unfurl their long proboscis to drink. Squirrels bury thousands of nuts each year to store food for winter. They forget or fail to retrieve many of them. These forgotten nuts often sprout into new trees. This helps regenerate forests, especially oaks and other hardwoods. Ginkgo biloba is one of the oldest living tree species. It's a true living fossil. The lineage dates back over 270 million years. This remarkable tree has survived several mass extinctions, including the one that wiped out the dinosaurs. The gaming industry is massive today. Over 3.3 billion people play games worldwide. Mobile gaming dominates with about 50% of the market. It generates roughly $100 billion in revenue. The total industry earns around $190 billion yearly. That's more than film and music combined. DNA replication is the process cells use to copy their DNA before dividing. Today, AI models trained on vast genomic data can predict replication origins, design synthetic DNA sequences, and even generate entire artificial genomes, speeding up research in medicine and biotech. The sensitive plant, Mimosa pudica, quickly folds its leaves when touched. This rapid movement is a defense mechanism. It helps protect against herbivores and environmental stresses like heavy rain or strong wind. Kia parrots nest in burrows on the ground. These are often dug between tree roots or in rock crevices. A tunnel, up to 6 meters long, leads to a cozy chamber. Earth's spin isn't fixed. It fluctuates. Long term, the moon's gravity slows it down through tidal friction, making days longer by about 2 milliseconds per century. In recent decades, though, the planet has spun faster on average. Spider monkeys are highly social animals. They live in large groups in the wild. If isolated without companionship, severe loneliness causes stress, depression, and a weakened immune system. Many experts note they can even die from it unless given constant attention. The Andes are the world's longest continental mountain range, stretching around 4,300 miles along South America's west coast through 7 countries. They block moisture, creating rain shadows and extreme climates, while hosting incredible biodiversity, from rainforests to high plateaus. Beefalo are a cross between domestic cattle and American bison. They're bred to be exactly 37.5% bison and 62.5% cattle. This mix gives them the hardiness of bison and the calm nature of cattle. Their meat is leaner, lower in fat and cholesterol than regular beef. Romantic literature is a movement from the late 18th to mid-19th century. It puts emotion, imagination, and nature first, over cold reasons. I don't like history. I'm like they are all dead. That's it. Coffee plants produce caffeine as a natural defense. It acts like a pesticide. The chemical paralyzes or kills many insects that try to feed on the leaves, beans, or young shoots. Nature's clever trick. Toxic to bugs, energizing for humans. Sundews are carnivorous plants. They're not dew at all. They're sweet, sticky glue that lures insects in. The bug lands, gets trapped, and the red tentacles bend over it. The plant absorbs the nutrients. All because sundews grow in boggy, nutrient-poor soils, mostly lacking nitrogen. Dried figs stand out as a top plant-based calcium source. Half a cup delivers about 120 to 150 milligrams, matching half a cup of milk. They're loaded with fiber for digestion, potassium for heart health, and antioxidants. Perfect swap if you're skipping dairy. You know those orange, stringy vines that look like tangled spaghetti on other plants? That's dodder, a clever parasite from the morning glory family. It produces no chlorophyll and skips photosynthesis entirely. Seedlings smell nearby hosts using volatile chemicals. Octopuses truly have 3 hearts. It's not a myth. 2 smaller branchial hearts push blood through the gills for oxygenation. The main systemic heart then pumps the freshly oxygenated blood everywhere else. A typical cumulus cloud weighs around 500 tons. That's equivalent to around 100 adult elephants. That's the weight of all the tiny water droplets inside it. It floats because those droplets are spread over a huge volume. The cloud is less dense than the dry air around it. Earth isn't a perfect sphere. It's an oblate spheroid, flattened at the poles and bulging at the equator due to its rapid rotation. This shape was first predicted by Isaac Newton. Sudan has more pyramids than any other country in the world. These ancient structures belong to the Kingdom of Kush. They are smaller and steeper than Egypt's famous ones. Household dust isn't mostly dead skin cells. That's a myth. Dead skin flakes from people, and pets make up about 20 to 50% of it. The bulk comes from outdoor soil, pollen, and fibers. It also includes hair, insect parts, bacteria, and pollutants. Earlobes don't have a major biological purpose. They're soft tissue with no cartilage. They get lots of blood flow, which might help keep ears warm. They're also full of nerve endings, making them sensitive to touch. If you laid out all the blood vessels in an adult human body end to end, they would stretch about 60,000 miles. That's a popular estimate. This vast network could wrap around Earth 2.5 times, though some newer studies suggest it might be closer to 6,000 to 12,000 miles for average adults. Africa is the only continent with land in every single hemisphere: northern, southern, eastern, and western. The equator slices through countries like Kenya and others. No other continent pulls this off. Look, I've heard this one a lot. Rubbing the inside of a banana peel on your teeth every night to get them whiter. But honestly, it doesn't really work. Any slight polish you feel comes from mild scrubbing, no different than brushing softly. Mandrills hold the title of the world's largest monkeys, with adult males reaching up to 119 pounds and standing over 3 feet tall at the shoulder. These rainforest dwellers stun with vivid red and blue facial colors, brighter in dominant males, plus matching hues on their rumps. You know how we can't drink seawater without getting sick? Penguins can. They have this amazing supraorbital gland right above their eyes that acts like a super efficient filter. It pulls salt from their bloodstream and turns it into a thick brine. Mount Kilimanjaro's iconic glaciers have shrunk by over 90% since 1912 due to climate change and reduced snowfall. They may vanish by the 2040s. This loss impacts local ecosystems and adds to water stress in dry seasons. Gorillas construct a new nest every single night using branches and leaves, mostly on the ground for mountain gorillas. Each individual builds their own, except infants sharing with mothers. They abandon old nests to avoid parasites, bacteria, and fecal buildup. The idea about the brain constantly eating itself sounds scary, but it's actually a good thing. Your brain stays healthy by trimming away unused connections. Special cells called microglia act as the cleanup crew. The Eurasian wren, one of the smallest birds in Europe, sings with incredible power and speed. It produces up to 740 notes per minute in its explosive song. This loud, high-pitched trill carries over 500 meters. A tight necktie can reduce blood flow to the brain. Studies show it drops by about 7.5% on average. This happens when the tie is tightened to slight discomfort. Most healthy people feel no symptoms from this small change. Eagles have vision 4 to 8 times sharper than humans. It's no exaggeration. Eagles truly see the world in stunning clarity. They spot small prey, like rabbits, from 2 to 3 miles away. Plus, they see ultraviolet light, revealing urine trails of rodents that we can't detect. Sloths move so slowly that green algae grows right in their fur. This gives them a greenish tint. It helps them blend perfectly into the leafy tree canopies. Watermelon is 92% water, making it incredibly refreshing. Its ancestors originated in southern Africa's Kalahari Desert, where wild varieties still grow. Bamboo holds the record as the world's fastest growing plant. Some species can add up to 35 inches in just one day. This rapid renewal makes bamboo a highly sustainable material for construction, textiles, and eco-friendly products. Japanese snow monkeys, also known as macaques, bathe in natural hot springs during winter. They do this to stay warm and reduce stress in the cold, snowy mountains of Nagano. This unique habit started in the 1960s when one troop learned it by watching humans. The solar system doesn't have a solid wall, but it does have a boundary called the heliopause. This is where the sun's solar wind finally stops pushing against the interstellar medium. It's like the edge of a giant bubble protecting our system. Lions often sleep or rest up to 20 hours a day. This helps them save energy. They need it for powerful, short bursts during hunts. Think about how tough life is in the desert. No rain for months. Cacti survive by packing water into their swollen, fleshy stems, like built-in canteens. This helps them survive long droughts with minimal water loss. Geysers erupt because groundwater seeps deep into hot rocks near magma. It becomes superheated under pressure. When pressure releases, the water flashes to steam explosively. How can parrots sound just like us? It's all thanks to their syrinx, that special voice box deep in their chest, where the windpipe splits toward the lungs. Kiwi fruit comes from China. It was once called Chinese gooseberry. New Zealand growers renamed it kiwi for better marketing. It has more vitamin C than oranges, often twice as much per 100 grams. Bioluminescent bays glow because of tiny single-celled organisms. When movement disturbs them, they flash a bright blue-green light. This creates magical natural light shows in warm tropical waters. Tigers have stripes on their skin, not just their fur. If you shaved a tiger, don't try this at home, you'd see the same black stripes on its skin, like a permanent tattoo. Pomegranates stand out for their high levels of antioxidants, more than many other fruits. These help reduce inflammation, protect heart health, and fight oxidative stress, often more effectively than red wine or green tea. The strongest tornadoes pack winds exceeding 300 miles per hour. The fastest ever measured hit around 320 miles per hour in 1999. Most form in supercell thunderstorms. These need wind shear and instability. Crows are incredibly smart birds with sharp memories. They recognize specific human faces and link them to past experiences. On the flip side, they also remember and favor those who are kind. Vervet monkeys use distinct alarm calls for different predators. They have one for leopards, one for eagles, and one for snakes. These calls trigger the right escape moves in the group. The Himalayas formed when the Indian plate collided with the Eurasian plate. This massive crash began around 50 million years ago. The ongoing push continues to lift the mountains even today. Blueberries originated right here in North America, one of the few fruits truly native to our continent. What makes them special? They are packed with antioxidants. Woodpeckers drum on trees to claim territory and attract mates. They can produce rapid bursts, reaching up to 20 pecks per second in many species. Japan leads the world in vending machine density. You'll find roughly one for every 30 to 40 people. They're everywhere, from city streets to quiet countryside spots. As of early 2026, the U.S. Department of Justice has released only about 12,000 Epstein-related documents, less than 1% of the total. Millions more files remain unreleased. Delays continue due to reviews and redactions to protect victims. Public demand stays strong despite partial disclosures. Out of all 26 letters in the alphabet, only one is completely missing from the names of the 50 U.S. states. That letter is Q. No state uses it at all. Date palms are remarkable trees that start bearing fruit after about 4 to 8 years. They reach peak production around 10 to 15 years old. Peregrine falcons are the fastest animals on Earth. They reach speeds over 200 miles per hour, up to a recorded 242 miles per hour, during high-speed hunting dives called stoops. Wind turbines in the UK cause around 10,000 to 100,000 bird deaths annually from blade strikes. That's a real issue. A Norwegian study showed painting one blade black reduces these deaths by over 70%. The black contrast helps birds perceive the rotor motion. Listen to a wolf pack howl. It's one of nature's most powerful sounds. They don't howl at the moon. That's just a myth. Instead, wolves use howls to bring the pack together for hunts, defend vast territories, and stay connected over miles of wilderness. In the real world, there's no such thing as a perfectly straight line. They exist in math and geometry, but in nature and physics, everything curves just a bit. Grapes can ferment on their own into wine. Wild yeast on the skins turns the sugar in the juice into alcohol. Wine was likely discovered by accident when stored grapes fermented. What's amazing about marmosets? These tiny monkeys almost always have fraternal twins. Unlike most primates that have one baby at a time, the dads are super involved. They carry the infants most of the day. Earthquakes release tremendous energy, often equivalent to thousands of atomic bombs for major ones. A magnitude 8 quake can match about 15,000 Hiroshima bombs in power. Peaches and almonds are closely related. They both belong to the same genus, Prunus. They're genetically close enough to hybridize successfully. Fog forms when moist air cools down to its dew point. The water vapor then condenses into tiny droplets. This happens often in coastal areas. Toucans use their large bills to regulate body temperature. They act like heat radiators. By adjusting blood flow, the birds release excess heat when it's hot. They restrict it when it's cool. Most cats have 5 toes on each front paw. They have only 4 toes on each back paw. That's a total of 18 toes. Bald cypress trees grow woody knees. These are conical projections. Their exact purpose isn't fully known. Many experts think they help with aeration. Tamarins often share food with others in their group. This helps build and strengthen social bonds. It's especially common with young ones. Adults actively offer food to infants and juveniles. Pineapples take about 18 to 20 months to mature. They often grow from slips, small shoots that form at the base of the fruit, or from crowns, suckers, and other plant parts. Migratory birds navigate using the stars, Earth's magnetic fields, and landmarks. They often combine these with the sun's position during the day. Many also rely on their sense of smell for guidance. Joshua trees don't bloom every year. They flower in spring only when conditions are right. That's usually after good winter rains and a cold spell in the Mojave Desert. Gray langurs in India are amazing lepers. They often jump 12 to 15 feet horizontally between trees. When leaping downward, they can cover up to 35 to 40 feet. Blackberries are not true berries. They are aggregate fruits. Each one forms from many tiny drupelets. These juicy fruits pack lots of fiber. They also deliver key vitamins like C and K. Ostriches lay the largest eggs of any living bird. An average egg weighs about 3 pounds. Some can reach up to 5 pounds or more. Sifakas hop sideways on the ground. They hold their arms out for balance. This unique movement looks like dancing. These lemurs live only in Madagascar. Singapore ranks among the world's richest countries by GDP per capita. Its success comes from a strong financial hub, major port, low taxes, and smart policies that attract global business. No natural resources, yet massive wealth. Wetlands naturally filter water. They remove pollutants and sediments. They also support rich biodiversity, and they help control floods in prone areas. Most ginger cats are male, around 80% of orange tabbies. The reason is simple genetics. The orange color gene sits on the X chromosome. Males need just one copy to turn fully ginger, while females need 2. Fingernails actually grow a bit faster during hot summer months. Warmer temperatures boost blood flow to your hands, speeding up the process. They also grow quicker during the day than at night, and on your dominant hand. The Affenpinscher is a small toy dog breed from Germany. Its name means monkey terrier because of its funny monkey-like face. It has wiry black fur and a bold personality. It's one of nature's sweetest gestures. In species like Adelie, Gentoo, and chinstrap penguins, males search for the perfect pebble. They present it to a female they're courting. If accepted, the pair bonds and adds the stone to their nest. Built to protect eggs from cold and flood in Antarctic colonies. Meet the African bush elephant, the true giant of the land, also called the savanna elephant. Males can reach 13 feet tall at the shoulder and weigh up to 12,000 pounds. The aurora borealis happens when charged particles from the sun collide with gases in Earth's atmosphere. This creates glowing, colorful lights. They're most visible in polar regions during strong geomagnetic storms. Binary, supermassive black holes are pairs of huge black holes orbiting each other closely. They form when galaxies merge. Each black hole can weigh millions to billions of times the sun's mass. They slowly spiral in and eventually collide. Capuchin monkeys use medicinal plants. They rub citrus fruits, like lemons or limes, into their fur. This helps repel insects and parasites. It's a clear example of self-medication. The Pope cannot be an organ donor. No, I didn't know that before. It's a surprising rule tied to Catholic tradition. Adelie penguins live only along the Antarctic coast. They are the smallest penguins in Antarctica. These birds have classic black and white feathers with white rings around their eyes. Every day, millions of cells in your body die naturally. Instead of just vanishing, they're quickly swallowed and digested by neighboring cells or professional cleaners like macrophages. Big volcanic eruptions can cool the planet. They release sulfur dioxide, not just ash. This gas forms aerosols that reflect sunlight. The 1991 Mount Pinatubo eruption caused global temperatures to drop by about 0.5 degrees Celsius for 2 years. The baobab tree can store up to 120,000 liters of water in its swollen trunk. This helps it survive long droughts in the African savannas. Rainbows form when sunlight refracts, reflects, and disperses through water droplets in the air. Double rainbows appear when light reflects twice inside the droplets. The African fish eagle is a striking bird of prey. It has a white head, chest, and tail. The body is rich brown with powerful black wings. It lives near rivers, lakes, and coasts across sub-Saharan Africa. Eucalyptus trees shed their bark for several reasons. It helps remove moss, lichens, fungi, and parasites. Many species have peeling or ribbon-like bark that drops naturally. In fire-prone Australia, dropped bark and oily leaves fuel hot, fast-moving fires. Smells can travel through liquids. Odor molecules dissolve in water and spread out slowly by diffusion. This is how fish and sharks detect scents underwater. The Asian golden cat is a medium-sized wild cat. It lives in forests across Southeast Asia and parts of China. Its coat comes in many colors, from golden red to gray or even spotted. Bananas were first domesticated in Papua New Guinea. This happened at least 7,000 years ago. From there, they spread westward through Southeast Asia. Ancient traders and migrants carried them along early routes. Baboons live in large groups across Africa. They form complex social hierarchies. Grooming helps them build strong bonds and alliances within the group. After Einstein died in 1955, the pathologist who did the autopsy removed his eyes. He gave them to Einstein's ophthalmologist, Henry Abrams. Those eyes still sit safely in a New York City bank vault today. The Antarctic scale worm is a fascinating deep-sea creature. It lives in the cold southern ocean around Antarctica. It grows up to 8 inches long, with a flat body covered in shimmering golden scales for protection. Acreoptera manga is a stunning stick insect from northern Madagascar. Males shine in bright blue with red and yellow accents. Females mimic dry twigs in brown and gray. It lives only in small dry forests. Papayas are packed with papain, a powerful enzyme that breaks down proteins. That's why it's a classic natural meat tenderizer in tropical kitchens worldwide. Papain also aids human digestion and reduces inflammation. The Aki monitor is a small lizard from Australia. It's also called the spiny-tailed monitor, or ridge-tailed monitor. These active little guys love digging deep burrows in rocky, dry areas. Certain octopus species, like the giant Pacific octopus, can lay around 56,000 eggs at once. These eggs are small, like grains of rice. The female attaches them in strands to a den. She stays with them, cleaning and protecting. The addax, often called the white antelope, is perfectly built for the harsh Sahara. It can survive without drinking water, getting moisture from plants. Those stunning spiral horns, up to 43 inches long, grace both males and females. True hibernators, like ground squirrels, don't dream during deep hibernation. Their body temperature plummets, brain waves flatline, and there's no REM sleep, the stage where dreams happen. The Aesculapian snake is one of Europe's longest snakes, reaching up to 2 meters. It's completely harmless to humans, with no venom at all. This slender snake loves climbing trees and walls. Its name comes from Asclepius, the Greek god of medicine. The Big Freeze is a leading theory for the universe's end, also called heat death. The universe keeps expanding forever. Stars burn out. Galaxies drift farther apart. In the end, nothing's left but a vast, cold, empty void. Civets aren't cats at all. They're small, tree-dwelling mammals related to mongooses. The Asian palm civet plays a role in producing kopi luwak. This coffee comes from beans eaten, partially digested, and excreted by the animal. Your brain is an energy powerhouse. Though it weighs just 2% of your body, it uses around 20% of your total energy. That adds up to roughly 300 to 500 calories daily, mostly on basic functions like keeping your heart beating and processing thoughts. Conodonts weren't big predators like sharks or dinosaurs. These small, jawless, eel-like animals from ancient oceans had the sharpest teeth in history. They're tiny elements, often just millimeters long, featured edges sharper than anything measured in nature, even today. The African gray parrot is one of the most intelligent birds in the world. It comes from the rainforests of West and Central Africa. These parrots are famous for mimicking human speech perfectly. They can live 40 to 60 years with good care. Jacanas really stand out in wetlands. Their super long toes and nails act like snowshoes. They distribute the bird's weight perfectly. So jacanas glide across lily pads like they're walking on water. No wonder they're nicknamed Jesus birds, or lily trotters. The 2025 Atlantic hurricane season had 13 named storms. It was close to average activity. 5 of those strengthened into hurricanes. 4 reached major hurricane status, Category 3 or higher. Venus is one of the oddballs in our solar system. It spins clockwise, the opposite way from Earth and most other planets. A day there lasts longer than its year, and the sun would rise in the west if you could see it through the thick clouds. A group of flamingos is known as a flamboyance. This fun name highlights their vivid pink color and dramatic group displays. Other terms include a stand or colony. Neptune holds the record for the fastest winds in the solar system. They reach up to 2,100 kilometers per hour. These supersonic speeds drive huge storms. The atmosphere is mostly hydrogen, helium, and methane. Amazon parrots belong to the genus Amazona. They come from the Americas and Caribbean, known for bright green feathers and colorful heads. In June 2025, scientists reported a fascinating discovery. Orcas were observed making and using tools for the first time. They bite off pieces of kelp. Then they use it to groom and massage each other. A newborn kangaroo joey is roughly the size of a lima bean, maybe an inch long and under a gram in weight. The baby, called a joey, crawls into its mom's pouch right after birth. There it grows safely for months. Albertonectes is one of the most extreme plesiosaurs ever found. This long-necked marine reptile swam in late Cretaceous oceans around 73 million years ago. What sets it apart is that ridiculously long neck, longer than its body and tail combined. You know, a single lightning bolt can superheat the air around it to around 30,000 degrees Celsius in a fraction of a second. That's 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun. No wonder it causes thunder. A new species of pumpkin toadlet was discovered in 2025. It has a bright orange color. The tiny frog lives in Brazil's mountain cloud forests. Snails have some incredible regeneration abilities. Certain freshwater snails, like the apple snail, can fully regrow a lost eye. It's not just a stub. They regenerate a complete working camera-type eye in about a month. Massive spider webs can cover vast landscapes. It's a real phenomenon called angel hair. In Australia, especially southeastern regions, this occurs during mass ballooning events, often after heavy rains or floods, with notable viral reports in 2025 draping fields and vegetation in ghostly silk. Pine cones act as natural weather indicators. They open in dry air to release seeds on windy days. When humidity rises before rain, the scales close to protect the seeds. This clever response comes from special fibers that expand with moisture. The African bullfrog, often called the pixie frog, is one impressive creature. It's the second largest frog in the world, native to sub-Saharan Africa. These guys are built tough, with olive green skin and powerful legs for burrowing. Elephants communicate using infrasound. These are low-frequency sounds below 20 hertz. Humans can't hear them at all. They also use touches, smells, and visible signals. The longest lightning flash on record struck back in October 2017 over the U.S. Great Plains. It stretched an impressive 515 miles. In 2025, 2 new pika species were discovered in the Himalayas. These small, rabbit-like mammals are highly vocal. They make loud calls that can sound like screams. Pikas live in rocky mountain areas. Mercury really doesn't have a proper atmosphere like Earth does. Instead, it has just a super-thin exosphere, basically loose atoms floating around. That's why the planet experiences massive temperature changes every day. Days reach up to 430 degrees Celsius. Nights drop to negative 180 degrees Celsius. In 2025, researchers made a breakthrough with a woolly mammoth specimen around 40,000 years old. Called Yucca, this juvenile was preserved beautifully in Siberian permafrost. They successfully pulled out and sequenced ancient RNA, the oldest ever recovered. Shooting stars, known as meteors, are small space rocks or dust particles. They enter Earth's atmosphere at high speeds. Most burn up completely, producing glowing streaks. On clear, dark nights, patient stargazers often see 5 to 10 sporadic meteors per hour with the naked eye. Titan, Saturn's largest moon, has lakes on its surface. These lakes contain liquid methane and ethane. They're mostly near the North Pole. Some are huge, like seas. In 2025, scientists at the Natural History Museum in London described several new glittering jewel butterfly species. They shine with bright, metallic colors. The Alpine Dachsbrache is a sturdy Austrian hunting dog. It's bred to track wounded game like deer and boar, short-legged and tough, perfect for rough mountain terrain. We might be close to discovering signs of ancient life in the universe. NASA's Perseverance rover recently found a rock on Mars with features that could point to past microbial life. It's not confirmed yet. This shows how human curiosity drives big discoveries. Aramborgiania was an incredible giant pterosaur. It lived about 70 million years ago in what is now Jordan, known for its super long neck and massive wings. Recent studies put its wingspan at around 10 meters. That made it taller than a giraffe when standing on the ground. In 2012, Facebook conducted a secret experiment on nearly 690,000 users without their informed consent. They reduced positive posts in one group's feed and negative posts in another's. This tested if emotions spread online. The study showed emotions are contagious. It sparked huge ethical backlash when published in 2014. American alligators live in southeastern U.S. wetlands. Males grow up to 14 feet long. They're apex predators. A group is called a congregation. They can live over 50 years in the wild. The Alaskan Klekai is a small dog breed. It looks like a miniature husky. People often call them mini huskies. That's the correct name and basic idea. They come in 3 sizes: toy, miniature, and standard. The old saying was that bacterial cells outnumber human cells in your body by 10 to 1. That's a myth. Current estimates show about 38 trillion bacterial cells and 30 trillion human cells. So yes, there are slightly more bacterial cells than human ones. Stardust Solutions is a startup. It plans to inject reflective particles into the stratosphere. This would reflect sunlight and help cool the Earth. The company says their particles are safe, but many scientists worry about risks. These include unpredictable weather shifts. Last year was quite shaky for Japan. We saw major quakes, like the magnitude 7.6 off Aomori in December. It triggered tsunami warnings and raised fears of even larger ones ahead. The African sugarcane borer is a real insect pest. It's a moth known scientifically as Eldana saccharina. The larvae bore into sugarcane stalks. This causes big damage to crops in Africa. In February 1972, Iran faced the deadliest blizzard in history. It lasted a full week. Snow reached up to 26 feet in places. Over 200 villages were buried completely. Around 4,000 people lost their lives. The immortal jellyfish, Turritopsis dohrnii, can revert to its juvenile polyp stage when stressed or injured. This process lets it restart its life cycle. If you're hungry for more recent discoveries, deep-thinking facts, and fascinating insights, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Follow us on our other social platforms for daily doses of knowledge, and don't forget to check out our recommendations for even more exciting trivia.